So I'm going to do a deep dive today into some of my systems. So a lot of people ask me, where do you find all your information? Where do you get your information from? Some people think I get it from inside the companies. I don't. That's got nothing to do with it. Everything that I get is publicly available. You've just got to have the right tools to be able to get to those publicly available things and understand how to use the tools to do it. Now, I do have one secret weapon, which I am involved with. And I'm going to deep dive into that today to show you the power of that weapon, which is called ORCA1. And ORCA1 is a data system. It's very early days with it, that's been built by Walt Oko and a team of really, small team of engineers that are experts in data management and AI. And one of the amazing things about ORCA1, which I really want to show you today, is how fast you can get to the data and keep on top of it all. And the new tools that are coming in it are absolutely amazing, which is one called Scribe, which I won't go into today, which is where you can store all that information. And then there's an AI level in it. And AI works best when your data is actually well documented, tagged, ordered, and it's contextual so that you understand how data connects with each other. So they're going to use a lot of AI over this so that you can run just natural language requests. But for today, I'm going to show you the primary product, which is called ORCA1, which if you're in quality or regulatory or product management, this is one thing I would get. I would just have you sign up tomorrow. It doesn't matter if you're a big company, small company. You can get multiple seats as a big company or single seats as a small company. If you're a researcher, you really want to be on this system. So I'm going to show you where a lot of the power lies in this. So let me shift scenes so that I can go into the document view, and I'm going to be able to show you here this system, which is called ORCA1, and you log in, you get a seat. It's like a SaaS, it's a service model, and you go into it. And there's multiple products in here. Some are coming very, very soon, and I've actually seen all the betas of it, and it's just amazing. But I'm going to show you ORCA1, the main search engine, which is if you're looking for. So what do I use it for? I use it to understand what's got approval, what's getting approvals, what the risk of those products is, and deep dive into them. I'm going to show you a couple of examples of how I've used it lately, for example, and the power of it, which is quite impressive and gives you a lot of insights. It takes a lot of work, and the reason why I want to show everyone this is because people ask me, how do I get these detailed blogs? It's I spend about a week of research on each topic at least to get all of the information, and you can get more of what you want yourself. You can just sign up to ORCA1. So let me dive into this. And I'm sorry if the video's a bit choppy today, just because I have to do this from a sort of a live stream software so that I can show you this. So as I say, there's an active surveillance document, which is a lot of it's available now. That's going to be for your regulatory quality people. There's a note-taking system called Scribe, which allows you to pull everything in so you can keep a list of all your projects. There's an automation thing in here. I'm not going to talk about that, but it automates everything. It's the agent side of thing. And then there's the AI that you'll be able to use, which I had a demo of the other day, which is amazing, that shows the reasoning behind it, which is going to be a layer that's on top of this, where you'll say something like, I'm thinking of bringing out an endovascular robot to do A, B, or C. What do you think is going to be the main regulatory pathway, and what will be my predicates? And it will just pull up the whole thing for you. It's just amazing. But it's based off this database here, which they call ORCA1, and you can do it either a drug company, which I don't have anything to do with that, but medical devices. So let's click in here. So it looks a bit confusing at first, but it's actually super, super simple. And what you've got is mainly focused at the minute on the US, because it's just rolling out. We've got a little bit on Canada. But basically, it's looking at every FDA document for 510Ks, every de novo document, FDA PMA documents, and all the rest of the documents that you would have in there, including UDAMED certificates that'll be coming soon, and the FDA product codes. You can look through all the adverse events of every single product that's ever been out there from every single company, and I'll show you how you look at that very easy. Device registrations, how they're registered. Compliance, so if there's any warning letters or any problems around either the company or the product, you can get straight to it. And compliance with Health Canada, MHRA is in here. Interestingly, there's a whole research thing in here. So there's 500,000 research papers in here that are already documented, logged, tagged, and the AI can run over these really quickly. And it's got NHA trials, it's got OUS clinical trials. It's just massive. And then there's the entire reimbursement side. So it's the clinical medical policies are on here. The CPT codes will be coming soon. That'll be very, very useful for people doing the health economics and marketing people, and the documents. So I've bored you enough now. So let me jump into this and show you what you can do. I'll do a most basic search first just to show you how this works. So I'm just going to search for intuitive because I like to see what they're doing every week. So I hit enter. It goes off and immediately, really quickly, it says there's 736 510K documents. They have 21 PMA. They have how many recalls they've had, what they've got in the more database for them, FDA warning letters, inspections. All of this is in this system right at your fingertips. I won't get into some more the stuff on the recalls and stuff, but I'll show you that in a minute. But what you want to get into, for example, is I want to know what products are coming down the pipeline. So somebody said to me, how did you know so fast? Or that, they had the curved advanced energy coming. So let me show you this amazing thing. So you click on this and it goes off and it looks at all those millions of documents. And I only actually care about intuitive surgical here, right? So it'll just make sure that I filter those down for me. And it has in order here of decision dates by the FDA. So let me talk you through the screen. And one of the things that the guys have done when they've designed this is pretty amazing. You don't have to leave this screen for anything, but you can when you want to. So it's going to tell you the manufacturer. It's going to tell you who applied for the 510K. And it's going to give you the 510K number and document here. It's going to tell you that it's Da Vinci Surgical System, IS 5000, so Da Vinci 5. So there are two 510Ks they've done on the Da Vinci 5 that have just recently got 510Ks. Now, at the minute, I won't have these documents available to me because the FDA updates them every first Tuesday of the month. But that will come soon. But what I do know, so there's my first insight, right? Da Vinci 5 has got two things coming very, very soon that they 510K'd. And I can go and look at the actual documents. I can see what the classification of the document is. I can see who filed it. So that's Jennifer. Hello, Jennifer. And I can start getting a lot of information. It's just massive. This database is massive. And what I can do is I can roll over any of these highlighted text boxes and it'll tell me, I was looking for intuitive, so that's what it found it. There's the 510K. Now, here's the clever thing. If I click on the 510K, it takes me to the source document. So I can go and see now in here. Oh, it's just come up now this morning. So I'm able to see the source document, which is great. So this is their 510K, regulation number, classification product code. Let's go and see the summary of what they've just got 510K on. So it'll take you right into the document. You don't have to do any searching in Google and stuff like that. So it's a PMA, it's a 510K, and they've approved it, gives some additional information, blah, blah, blah. And let's go see the summary and see what's in here. So indications for use. So let's read some of this together. The intuitive surgical instrument control system, Da Vinci model IS 5000, includes rigid endoscopes, is intended to be used. Contraindications. Please select the type of use. Okay. And here's the summary that you can look into here. This is brand new for me, by the way, so I'm looking at this as we go. The device description, indications for use. So let's see what was new on this. Some contraindications. So it looks like it's an indications for use. That's what looks like what they've gone for here. Instrument control system, underscore accessories. The base for the submission is a modification of DaVinci's cleared under the device software has been modified to include a new force gauge. So what you will see me put on LinkedIn is that, again, I do this for all the companies, a new graphical user interface for force gauge for their force feedback instruments has just got clearance. Now, they've not got it on their website yet. They've not rolled it out yet. But I know that they've got that, and that's what they've done. So my suspicion will be that they will include the new force gauge in the graphical user interface in the DaVinci 5 in the coming weeks. That's how I do it, right? I go off and I look at these documents. So I spend hours and hours looking at these documents. Let's go and see what the other one was. So there was another update here. Let's see what their update is. Let's go to the summary document. This is all straight out of ORCA1, and this is why I suggest if you're in this field, you get an ORCA1. So this is another thing. Let's go and get to the summary of what they changed. Indications for use device. For use intended, contraindications, do not send. Submit to contact person, they prepare, trainer, common name. Let's see what they did. Device description. So the basis for this submission is the modification of instance cleared on device software is being modified to include a new feature called Network Central Configuration Management, which enables intuitive technical support to remotely push configuration data to a system connected to the network for the user or update system. The configuration data includes customer site preference settings and system features. So this is their thing where any user who's going to go to it, the DaVinci team, surgical team, can push out data to it. So it's a network central thing. That's it. It's you have to read through these documents and know how to read them a little bit. But once you know how to do them, you can go and see this. So I talked the other day and I said, oh, potentially they're coming out with an 8mm and an assistant cannula. Let's go and see that one. Let's go and see the summary of this. Let's go see what this is. So, the device training is 8mm assist cannula, 12mm. The cannulas, obturated seals, and accessories are intended to establish a port of entry. So this is being able to sell an independent assist cannula. Okay. And there's the indications for use. There's the manufacturer. There's the product code. The regulation numbers it goes under, the predicate devices that it uses, which is 12mm and stapler cannula, 8mm hex cannula. So they're doing the same thing. So it's just really to have an independent assistant cannula. So when I put that out the other day, people were saying to me, well, how do you know that? Did someone tell you? No, they don't tell me. Basically, what it does is it basically allows me to go in here and see. There's no magic to this. It's just a lot of hard work, and that's why, again, I appreciate the support of my blog, because what I do is I summarize a lot of this stuff and put it in there. And I have about another 15 to 20 data sources that I use, all public. This is all public. You can all go into this tomorrow and see this. And you can go and read the actual details, and I'll pull some of these details up for you. My job is to save you doing that. So I can read into here and see all the details of this. And the key thing is that this is loads and loads of data that's in here. And it's got lots of data in here that you can look at. Sorry, I'm waffling a bit here because I always get excited when I see this. And you can do the same for vessel sealer curved. And a couple of things that this gives you immediately is how many days it took to review. So from when they submitted to when they got the review. Interesting one here for this one for the XI or the X surgical system. It had a 440-day review process for a 510K, which is massive, which is weird. What else can you do in this system of ORCA1? You're getting excited now, aren't you? Because now you can start to see into things. Don't worry, we're going to dig into some other people's stuff in a minute. So I can go and see all of their stuff here. But I can also look at some of the risk profiles that are in here. So ORCA has got a really clever algorithm they've put together to look at the risk of a product. And one of the great things you can do with this system, and let's go and look at one of the more risky products. So this is a stapler. Let's go and look at the risk profile of the stapler and how they get to that. And there's all the different ways that they get the risk distribution. And it works on number of predicates recalls. It works on, number of predicates older than 10 years. And it's got a way of building this risk data. And you can go and see the details of how they do that. So they look at the product category, they give it a risk score, they put it into a percentile, they give it a color rating, they graph it. They look constantly, like day by day, at the Maud recalls. So if there was a massive Maud event where all staplers on robots had a massive problem and they all got recalled, this would suddenly flag red, and you'd be able to see that in 2 seconds. And you can go in here and look at all the predicates that they use in there for the short form, and basically you can look at all their predicates and all the details of this. I mean, it's so detailed, it's unbelievable. So let me come out of that again. And again, one of the key things about this system is it's trying to keep you on this screen as much as you can. It's got a recall probability. So what's the probability based off that score that this system might have a recall in the future? You can go and click into that. And it goes into the recall probability in the next 2 years. It's pretty amazing. So I've got loads of information that I'm gaining off this constantly. And you can just highlight over this, and you don't even need to go and dig into the documents. It will tell you where it was, give you the device descriptions that are in there, the exacts of the model XI, the S400. There's all kinds of test methods that are in here that we used on it. So it'll dig out your test methods. So more for if you're a regulatory or a engineer or something, then there's just lots and lots of cool stuff in here. So I'm digging into intuitive a bit there, but I can go into other companies as well. So for example, let me go and see Ethicon. Okay, and let me see what's in Ethicon. So there's 1,000 FDAs. Let's see if they've got anything interesting in their new 510Ks. So let's dip in straight away, and it's under Johnson & Johnson. Ethicon finds all different ways of doing it. So this is the Ethicon 4600 compact stapler. So how did I know that this was going to be out so soon? Well, this gave me a flag, and I was able to go and see it. I'm able to go and look at things again like the actual 510K. So there's the Johnson & Johnson stapler. I can go into the summary document, and it will tell me all about the stapler. It will tell me all the reloads. It will tell me everything that I need to know about that product well ahead of when it's out and launched as an actual product. So again, no skullduggery here. I'm just going into public documents, and it'll give me all the indications for use. There is so much information that you can find just off ORCA1, and this is just one tiny piece of it. And you can go and look at the actual product. You can go and look at the risk profile again, how long it took to get the 510K clearance, which is really, really good. And, you can just go and look at the risk profile of this device over time and look at all the different devices that works off. And you can do this for so many products. Now, they did a de novo on something, so let me go and see their de novo. And that was a percutaneous surgical set with 510 attachments. Not sure what that was, but that was in 2012. We can go and see, for example, warning letters to Ethicon. Not picking on you here, but I can actually go and see the warning letters. And this is worldwide franchise chairman and surgery, sterilization products. So I can go and look at the actual warning letter. So again, this is from a regulatory point of view. This is very, very powerful. So when they looked at ASP, they had a problem in the STERAD. So blah blah blah. You can go through and look at this and see what their issues were. Sorry about that. And the inspection scores, signal score that are in there, the citation severity score. It works it all out for you. So again, might be getting a little bit technical for a few of you here. Now I don't have to do it just by company either. So what I can do is I can put surgical stapler, for example, and let's go and see. So there's 1,719 surgical staplers in here. Let's go and see who's got some of the latest ones that are in here. So the Ethicon 400. There's a medical stapler from a company here, Intuitive Surgical, with their Sureform. The Echelon Linear. So Medtronic, I can go and see their Signia. So if I wanted to see that, I can dive into that. And that took, for their Signia, took 214 days to get the 510K. I can go into all of their data, and let's have a little look at the device description. The Signia TM circular adapter, a reusable instruments handle. So this is a circular stapler to go onto their Signia system. So I can go in and look at that, and if I wanted to deep dive into that, I can go and look at their 510K. I can go and head into their summary. And I can go and find all about that stapler, all the indications for use, all the paperwork, what they were doing, the testing, the non-clinical testing, etc. I can go and find all that data in 2 seconds here. Now, this is just a real scratch. Oh, here's an interesting thing. Let's go and see their predicate tree. So I want to bring my own circular stapler. Let me look at their predicate tree. There's their predicate tree that they used for going through the 510K, which is quite interesting. It'll spit that out for you. And it's got, all the different summaries around these things. So I can find, what they're doing with standard bariatrics here. You can filter these. So I only want to look at, let's see, I only want to look at Medtronic. I'll filter these out. And there's all just the Medtronic 510Ks that are in there. And when you inscribe, you've not got this yet, but you'll just be able to go click, bang with one button, and that will put it all into a file and folder for you, ready to look at and to give you flags and everything. But it is a pretty amazing system. Let's see what we've got. Let's look at endovascular robot. Now, there may be nothing in here for this, but it'll look for you. Actually, there's 7 under the endovascular robots. Let's go and see what they are. Corindus. So we could go and see the core path. That was back in 2016. So I can see here that Siemens Healthineers looked at something new on Corindus. Let's go and see what they've got. This is for radiology. Let's go and see what this bad boy is. Siemens Symbia series intended to use appropriately trained healthcare. I expect that components intended to use to detect or image the distribution of radionuclides in the organ. So it's looking at some of their imaging stuff in here. And again, you can go and look at exactly what this is. So if you're interested in looking at the endovascular robots and what Corindus is doing, then you can go and look at this. You can dive deep into it. It'll tell you about the specs. It'll tell you about all the different pieces, and this is the original FDA document, but in the summary, it's right here in the summary, and you can look at their predicate tree, how they looked at the predicates as the reference devices, how they did that. Let me come out of this, come back to the big screen. So I just wanted to dive into that to show you, because a lot of people have been asking me, how do you know this stuff so far ahead? How do you have so much detail so early on? No magic, no voodoo. It's just finding it. So then what I'll do is I'll go to, another 10 different data sources, which I'll go into one day. And then I sit there and I make copious notes of pulling this all together. And I look at announcements on LinkedIn. I look at patents. I look at trademarks. I look at a ton of other databases that are out there that I can go and peruse, because I'm sad like that. But the idea is that what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build an understanding of where this market is, where it's going. What I didn't show you, which I probably can show you, let me jump back into here a second, because I think you'll find this interesting. It's under some of the clinical trials. Intuitive. Sorry, I'm picking on Intuitive today just because they have loads of great stuff in here. But you can actually go and look at their clinical trials. So I'll go and look over here at the clinical trials that are ongoing for Intuitive, and I can look at the ones that are recruiting or ongoing. So this is some kind of nature of body image that they're looking at in the University of Padova in Italy. Now, what I can also look at, for example, is some of the other stuff. Oops, sorry, I just got rid of that. That'll come back. That'll refresh. So I can look at just what's happening in 2025 when there's been an update. There's just tons of filters in here. And I can look at what trials are going on in Italy. And I can see here some of the trials that are going on in Italy and which companies are doing what in Italy. And I can go and see this and it'll tell me whether it's a randomized, the intervention model. It will tell me the study type, whether it's observational, interventional. So this is how I also know of all the studies that are going on. And that's got intuitive. It's picked up there as an intuitive eating scale, but I can actually go and put that as the company as well. But again, I can go into let me see what's going on in robotic surgery. Just might find this interesting. Let's go look at the trials that are ongoing. Sentante. Let's go and have a look at Sentante. What is Sentante doing? Fully robotic peripheral endovascular interventions, the feasibility of Sentante system application in peripheral endovascular. Technical performance of Sentante system and remote delivery, feasibility, etc. So if I'm interested in this section of robotics, which I am, I can go and look at their clinical trial. It's been completed. It looked at 13 outcome measures, which I can go and look at. So I can go and look at their outcome measures, which looked at all these different outcome measures that it looked at. So again, if you're into clinical trials and you're building clinical trials for robots, you need to have a slice of ORCA1. And if you're looking at this and you're not in the clinical trials team, go and tell your clinical trials team to sign up to this. This will save you months and months of work. And you just buy a seat, get in, and we can look at all the stuff that's going on here. And I can filter that by different companies, whether it's interventional, observational, and it's infinite of the data, but I know what I'm looking for, so I go into this. You guys can just go and do some immediate natural language searches in here, and it'll find basically all the information that you need. So this is one of my data sources, and again, this is let me just click back out of here. So this is just one of my data sources, and I think that you'll find it. I would go and have a play with ORCA1. And if you're in this space in medical devices, it doesn't matter whether you're doing cardiovascular, you're doing whatever, you can go and find all the data that you need in ORCA1 for the base stuff. And that gives you, for people like me who are trying to find out where the trends are coming from and where things are coming, looking at the regulatory and the clinical landscape gives me a really good forward view into what's coming, either from a positive side or a negative side. So for example, if I see that there's recalls going on, that flags me to start looking a bit deeper into the, what's the problem with the robots. If, for example, I'm looking at what products are coming, I can see what Intuitive's got coming, Medtronic, J&J. All of these things are in public documents somewhere. Not everything, not 100%, and I get frustrated when I can't find things. For example, on Artava, J&J's done a really good job of keeping that off the radar. But yeah, that's how I find it out. So for those that were asking, how do I seem to have this Nostradamus-like way of looking at stuff? I'm not that good. But it's a lot of hard work, and I just know where to go and look. And I do thank ORCA1 and Walt and the team for getting me onto that, because that has given me some of the best insights in terms of what I've seen so far. But there is a whole another bunch of stuff that I've done in other areas that are equally as deep, that give me the insights as well. So I hope that's been useful. I hope that's been an interesting thing. And do go and check out ORCA1.